Thank you for listening to Comics for Fun and Profit. This is a sneak peek at next week with Kyle and Drew. This is episode 222, Drew, 222. You, of course, are following Drew and myself as we go through the comics coming out in your local comic book shops. Next Wednesday, we're going to tell you what to pick up for your collection and what to pick up that we think will have a little bit of value in just a little while. But Drew, before we get into that, we got some tweets, we got some news, we got all kinds of stuff going on. Drew, what's going on?
At Mike Myers Brunch sent us Midnighter's first appearance in the New 52 is Stormwatch and not Grayson. So there's a little correction there. And we did find during our Google searches that his first appearance overall was what, Stormwatch 4? From way back in the day. So that's kind of cool. We had some feedback from Mo Walker at Dr. Mo77, who says now that DC is officially in its post-convergence phase, you can breathe easier because I have been sweating DC a lot.
Yes. And it it feels like I'm restarting. I'm looking forward to this. There was very little from DC. We got a review show coming up here real soon that is pretty much DC free.
Yeah,
because of convergence.
Yeah.
So we'll see if absence really does make the heart grow fonder, Drew.
How much excitement do you have for these new shows or these new comics?
Quite a bit. I actually always enjoyed DC number ones just to see some of the new creative teams and what they're doing and the direction they're doing. So actually, this is some of, number ones are some of my favorite things to do, is to see something with fresh eyes, look into it, see somebody's take, and to try to guess where this either the 6-issue arc or this first little mini is going to really do. So actually, I'm very, very, very excited for it.
And another comment from Mike Myers Brunch, you did not mention a major death in G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. Book is going to be hot.
Yeah, big book. It's actually a 3-part Death of Snake Eyes for G.I. Joe. I think I mentioned it the first one that was there 2 months ago, but then I did lose track of the fact that they did drag it out for, I believe, 3 different...
it's a 3-parter.
I believe there was 3 parts to the quote-unquote Death of Snake Eyes, and this last one is a very, very, very important book. Going for all kinds of money, very small print run, very, very hot book, that's for darn sure.
And the Stormwatch love continues. Martin Ferretti is preaching, is at Valiant Central, and he is saying that that the second series. Which are we talking about here? I believe we're talking about the Stormwatch with the first Midnighter and Apollo. And he's talking about the second series is really great. Ellis is a smart writer and really turned the concept on its head. I am not aware of this series at all. Did you read any Stormwatch?
I did not.
Ever? Even in 52 or before?
Neither.
I didn't either. So that's something I might have to look into. And it sounds like some listeners from our show are really big fans. So we should probably give that a little bit of a check out. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the more people have invested interest in these things, that's kind of what you have to look for, especially in the speculation market, because what you think is cool, normally a lot of other people think is cool, or what you think is hot, a lot of other people might as well. So you really have to have the pulse of other people in the comics industry to really catch this stuff. And that things like that, like G.I. Joe, definitely things to check out.
Well, Age of Ultron been in the theaters for a couple weeks now, and did you see a chance to see it yet?
Nope,
did not. It was pretty good. And it got me thinking, along with an email I got from some friends over in sellmycomicbooks.com who sent a little recap of some of Age of Ultron's characters and or Avengers characters from the movies and their first appearances. And I thought it'd be kind of interesting to look through these and see how many of those we had. Probably none. But we've got Peggy Carter, who was she was not in the last one. She was in the first Cap.
She was in the first Captain America, and of course she has her own series on ABC.
Yeah. Her first appearance was Tales of Suspense number 77 from in a 1966 comic. I can't imagine that would be that expensive, but it might be. Black Widow's first appearance was in Tales of Suspense 52, number 52, back in 1964. Bucky's first appearance was in Captain America Comics number 1 from 1941.
Jeez, that's the one to have.
Yeah, that's quite the key issue. Captain America's first appearance, Silver Age Captain America, is in Avengers number 4 from 1964. The first Falcon, Captain America number 117 from 1969. The first Hawkeye, which would be a cool one to have, I think. I would like to have that. That's Tales of Suspense number 57.
Yeah, it's cool to see something like Hawkeye coming from Tales of Suspense. That's kind of rad.
Yeah, isn't that where Iron Man was too?
Yep.
Yeah, as we get further down the list, Hulk, of course, was Incredible Hulk number 1 from 1962. The first appearance of Hulkbuster Armor, which if you haven't seen the movie, a little spoiler there's an appearance by that. And it was in Iron Man number 304 from 1994. That seems like that would be an affordable find.
Okay.
Iron Man 304. I might do a little Google search while I'm talking. The first appearance of Iron Man was...
Tales of Suspense 39 from 1963.
Keep going.
Let's see. We have Loki first appearance. Journey to Mystery 85 from 1962. That's your very first Loki. Nick Fury first appearance. Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos number 1 from 1963. Of course, within some speculation for things, because we're talking about now Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, their first appearance, of course, from X-Men number 4 from 1964, of course, appearing in Age of Ultron, as well as Days of Future Past for X-Men as well, from that side of it.
Yeah, the first Hulkbuster is selling anywhere from $10 to $40 on sold things on eBay, so that's very affordable if you want to pick that up. That's kind of cool.
The Vision.
That would be a great one. That would be a great one to have.
1968 Avengers number 57. That would be a neat one to have, because I think the Vision's going to play quite a bit of coming into the next few storylines, the next few movies. I think the Vision could have a big piece in that. Of course, Thor from 1962, Journey to Mystery number 83. We talk about Ultron, Age of Ultron. Actual Ultron's first appearance, Avengers 55 from 1968.
That would be a cool one as well. And it's got the wrong origin, because it's
that's your Hank Pym
yeah
creation instead of your Tony Stark creation, but still the very first appearance of Ultron. Of course, Ulysses Claw, Fantastic Four 53 from 1966. One of the more recent... Go ahead.
You can get that Avengers 55 for $40.
Yeah.
40 to 60. Some are going for 130, but there's a couple that sold pretty reasonably. On June 5th, one sold for $60, so that's not bad.
One more recent, War Machine. That's first appearance in Iron Man 281 from 1992. So that's one of them that may not be so.
And he's going to be more prevalent in some of the Civil War stuff, maybe?
I see a lot of that, especially there's some rumors going around about what happens through Civil War in the future of the MCU, and it's very possible that War Machine could play a more and more dynamic role in those as well. So that may be a not as old, not as expensive investment that is possibly something that will gain a lot of tread as the movies go down. But you're talking a 5-year plan on that one.
Yeah, and you can get that book for $3 all the way to 10 to 40. It just depends on who's looking for it and who's willing to pay what. But yeah, you can get that pretty cheap. So that's something you might want to think about snapping up.
Yeah, and we talked about Bucky, but we also have the first appearance of Winter Soldier, Captain America number 6 from 2006. So I can't see that one being too expensive. But
okay, that's the other volume, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But just some things. I mean, it's a little late. This would have been something to really look into right before Ultron hit, but I'm trying to think what the best time for some of these markets is. If it's leading up to the movies or right as the movies hit, because a lot of people spec hard on speculation for what is going to be in the movies, and you see a lot of things.
Yeah, when the first rumor of the movie gets slated, that's when you should be trying to snap this stuff up.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so like when you heard about Civil War, should you be going out and getting those Civil War comics? Mm-hmm. When you heard it was going to be in the next Cap, whatever. Yeah, I think you got to get way ahead of this stuff, but it's still fun.
Yeah, this is part of the enjoyment we get out of the speculation process and all these things.
And you never know what you're going to find in a bargain bin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like that because when Guardians of the Galaxy hit huge, I was finding Rocket Raccoon, part of that 1988 4-issue miniseries, in the quarter bins and some of our quarter sales at our LCSs, and I was able to flip those for I think it was $21 is what I got for one of them. Recently.
Yeah, I mean they're still out there. They're still good stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So,
but just a few things to look into, a few things for the future of the MCU. That's become what the market is movie tie-ins, and the buzz behind the movies really pushing the market and speculation and the secondary market in general. But just something fun to look at. I love looking at first appearances and where people first came from and trying to find as many of those key issues as I can at the very least.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. Let's talk sneak peeks.
All right, sneak peek at next week. So Drew and I are going to head over to previewsworld.com. We're going to click on upcoming releases, and we're going to look at what's coming to your local comic book shops on June 10th, 2015. Well, Drew, come with me now as we start where we always start, in Dark Horse.
Well, I really enjoyed the first issue of Harrow County.
Okay.
So I will be perusing the new one when it comes out on the 10th as well. It's Colin Bunn and Tyler Crook. And it was a cool little horror comic, but I thought it was pretty well done. I enjoyed it, so recommend that. And you, of course, will be right on the heels with Rebels number 3.
Absolutely. Rebels number 3. I've been enjoying Rebels. Of course, a tale of the Revolutionary War in 1776, written by Brian Wood. Right now we're focusing a little bit more on his family and home life. And I think we're going to get into quite a bit of the battles and such, and a little bit more of the history in it in these next few issues. So I'm really looking forward to it and enjoying myself in the first 2 issues.
And Midnight Society, The Black Lake, number 1. It's a 4-issue miniseries. I have already read this. I got a review copy, and it was pretty good. It was like a tale of two halves, really. I didn't like the first half as much as I liked the second half. It kind of got better as it went along.
And this is a new IP, Midnight Society. It isn't something that's written before?
I don't know. It seemed like the way it started, it almost felt like it was some kind of world that you should be familiar with. Like you should have read something else, but I don't think it. I couldn't find anything else like that. So it's got some cool touches in it, but all in all, I don't know if it's something I want to stick with.
Gotcha.
I should probably save that for our June 10th review show.
That's very possible. Well, that's all I've got in Dark Horse. Drew, you want to follow me down to DC, where this is the second week out of Convergence, so more good things coming for us.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and Batman 41. I've ordered quite a few extra copies of this. I'm take an adventure with me down the road for if we think this is going to be a good speculation. Now, we've of course got this robotic Batman. Of course, spoiler, in Batman 40, Batman dies. Joker dies. Who's going to take the mantle of Batman since our good friend Grayson is otherwise indisposed with Spiral, or actually I think just moving on from Spiral, and he's, of course, still dead. So we have this robotic Batman, the new Batman. He's, of course, crossing several of the different incantations of the Batman comic book. This, detective, what else is he, Andrew?
What are we talking about?
This robotic Batman. I've seen him on the covers of multiple books this month, so he's not just in the main Batman title.
Is that him on Batman Superman cover as well? The Greg Pak?
Yes, exactly.
So are we chasing these?
So, first appearance. They're coming out consecutively on the same exact week.
Yeah. First appearance got to go to the Batman book.
Yeah,
right?
I think you've got to give leeway to the Batman on Batman 41. Do we think Batman will stay dead long enough for this to be a legitimate first appearance or something worth holding on to? You and I know who's in the suit, as do a lot of people through the speculation market.
Right.
But I think it'll be kind of a fun reveal in 41, so I'm not going to give that away right now. I just don't know the ramifications of that for the collector's market. If this is a first appearance, what are your thoughts?
No idea. I have no idea how long it'll stick.
I picked up 4 of these. Or I've got 4 of these coming, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, what's going to hurt?
And part of my thought was, well, I can bundle them with my extra copies of 40 as well, and make a nice little secondary market bundle of
1, 2.
The death of Batman and then the resurrection of this secondary character if they're interested in reading the next cycle.
Yeah, that's true. Because I haven't hardly had any traction with my 40s. I thought the death of Batman would have a little more interest.
And they did sell through. They did go to second and third printing, so that, I mean, they've done well there. But it doesn't appear. It appears that a lot of people are doing the same thing we are, though.
Yeah, the detective. He looks. I see a mech suit in Detective.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was
saying. On the cover of 41 as well.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like he's branching out into each and every one of these different incantations of where you'll see Superman,
which is smart, and that would make people chase it. So we do have a Earth 2 Society #1, and this is probably something coming out of Convergence that you would probably know better if you read Convergence.
Mm-hmm. Of course, we know when we think.
I think I did read the last one, the last Convergence, and I think I read the last 2. And I don't feel like I know that much, so I don't know if it worked for me.
Of course, this is Daniel Wilson and Jorge Jimenez, the creative team on this. The survivors of Earth 2's war with Apocalypse find themselves on a new world, but can Green Lantern, Power Girl, a new Batman, and the other heroes of Earth 2 create a new world that's better than the last? Or will they interfere and good intentions doom this world just like the old one?
Are you interested in those variations of those characters?
No, but I'm going to read this because I know very little of it. This is definitely a different version of Power Girl that I've ever seen before, so
yeah,
we shall see.
I am really interested in Constantine the Hellblazer #1, written by Ming Doyle with art by Riley Rossmo. I think that might be cool. I enjoyed a lot of the Constantine books that I've read, so I'm gonna definitely be checking that one out.
I need to catch up on Injustice, Gods Among Us, Year 4. Unfortunately, I've fallen off of that quite hard, and I think I need to do a little soul-searching and come back and at least give this one a shot.
You haven't read any of them?
Nope.
Okay.
Not a single one.
It's definitely not as good.
No.
I will.
I think in my heart of hearts, I already knew that.
Yeah. And I think we were probably being generous after Tom Taylor left, and maybe Buccellato had, like, scripts, some of Tom Taylor's scripts laying around or something. But
yeah.
Yeah. I've kind of missed the Catwoman #41. It has a writer named Genevieve Valentine. Mm-hmm. Has she been the writer on that? I thought it was somebody else.
I've unfortunately fallen by the wayside. I know that the art was being done, like Jai Lee was doing covers and such like that, but I don't believe Genevieve Valentine has been doing a lot of them.
I couldn't remember. I have dropped off that book, and I need a reason to come back.
Yeah, and unfortunately, her being a mob boss has not been it for me.
Yeah, I gotcha.
New Suicide Squad #9. At some point very, very soon, Harley and a lot of them are dropping off, and we're changing a lot of our makeup of our Suicide Squad. And it looks like this may be the last one that I believe we have Harley in. Don't quote me on that, but I believe from some of the solicits and things I've seen that we're moving in a different direction after this one. So, something to keep an eye on. An unstable, violent group has broken away from the League of Assassins. Only the Suicide Squad stands a chance at stopping them if they're willing to get even more unstable and violent.
There's one I know you're going to be interested in.
Red Hood Arsenal #1?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah! We've shaken loose of Coriander or Styfire. We're getting... Looks like we're going to get into the little bit of this good cop, bad cop routine, I'm guessing, with Scott Lobdell writing Red Hood and Arsenal #1. These brothers in arms face off against incredible odds while burning their way through the underbelly of the DC Universe, and it's only a matter of time until they get gunned down in return. Of course, I'm looking forward to this because you got bogged down quite a bit with a lot of Starfire's space antics and a lot of the things going on there, so... I think this is a very good tandem and team. They play off each other well. They work well. And I really, really, really enjoy a lot of the shorter storied and one-off things that Red Hood and Arsenal have done in the past, where it's just kind of them going into a situation and shooting first and asking questions later. So I have a little bit of high hopes for this, and we'll see what it does for me.
I'm going to read that first one, but if it feels like part 1 of 5 or part 1 of 6 in a long arc, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it.
Speaking of 1 of 6, Section 8, number 1, Garth Ennis, with art by John McCrae. McCrae?
Yeah. Amanda Conner doing the cover.
Yeah. When I think Section 8, I think, hey, somebody's being accused of being crazy. So, the greatest superheroes of all time, unseen since the end of the hit series Hitman, have returned for the greatest superhero story ever told. Befuddled Heroes six-pack returns to Gotham City, desperate to rebuild the all-star team known as Section 8. In the face of the deadly threat, he gathers old friends Bueno Excelente, Bator, and the seemingly reborn Dog Welder, along with some new faces. Mm-hmm. But he still needs that elusive 8th member, and that's where the Dark Knight detective gets an offer he can't refuse in part 1 of this unforgettable 6-pack miniseries. And this looks like a regular Batman. This is not our robotic Batman.
Yeah, I didn't read Hitman yet, so I have a few of the issues, but I've never been able to collect the whole thing, so I've never read it. Hopefully I don't need to be able to read this. I hope I can enjoy this Section 8 on its own. That would be nice.
Yep.
We have Starfire number 1, and it's written by the same creative team, Amanda Conner and Jimmy Palmiotti, that does Harley Quinn.
And I have this hearing they're going to go for the exact same sensibility. They're going to go for everything the exact same, a little bit goofy, a little bit quirky, off the wall. It's going to be essentially Harley Quinn Part 2.
Any chance it's a hit?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I don't completely understand the Harley hit and why it's such a big deal.
No, I have no idea why it works.
So, I mean, this obviously has the same possibility as that, and I'm sure a lot of people who are reading Harley will pop over to see if the sensibilities are the same, and I think they're going to. I think this is going to be a little bit more lighthearted. I'm going to read this first one, but I'm going to jump ship super quick if it's like that.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't even think I'm. Yeah, maybe I have to. Contractually obligated as a podcaster to read that number 1 issue.
Anything else for you in DC?
No, but it feels good to be back in DC, looking at stuff and being interested in stuff.
It
does.
All right, head on down to me with IDW.
Drones 2 was terrible. Sorry, creator. It was not good.
Creator.
Insufferable number 1 was not that great, so I'm not really sure if I want to read Insufferable number 2. Sorry, Mark Waid. Long Distance. I'll have to check that out. What is that?
$5 for what looks like kind of an odd book. So I'm out.
It's a love story?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Tom Zoller that did Love and Capes.
Mm-hmm. I read that, but that meant nothing to me, so it's good to see that actually meant something to you.
Yeah, it's critically acclaimed series. If Superman and Wonder Woman, their relationship, basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I don't know if you would dig that or not.
Nope, and for $5, I'm not sniffing it.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Alrighty, now that we're in the mid-June, let's see what Image Comics has for us.
Birthright number 8. You still on that book?
Yep, still. I'm an issue behind, but I still enjoy that. I still like the premise, and I'm still very curious to see kind of his past connecting with his future, and this the pregnant bird lady coming into it. It's kind of a rad little thing.
Do we have any idea why we have a $6 Chrononauts?
Holy crap on a cracker! No.
Yeah, it's the conclusion, but I don't see any page count on here. If it's 22 pages, I'm going to be livid.
Captured by enemies and robbed of their ability to time travel, Danny and Quinn have created the biggest mess the space-time continuum has ever seen. Now it's up to them to defeat the bad guys, fix past wrongs, and escape the wrath of their bosses. The finale to the sci-fi adventure features more breathtaking Sean Murphy art with more soldiers, more dinosaurs, and a conclusion that leaves you clamoring for a sequel.
So you get people excited for your property at $2.99. They're enjoying the thing, and the final issue's coming around. So what do? You slap an extra couple bucks on it?
Wow.
It better be a reason. There better be a reason for that.
Start calling them Marvel.
Yeah, that seems really dirty pool there. Copperhead number 8. That's been a great series by Jay Faber. I've really enjoyed that.
Yeah, and it seems like the cool thing about Copperhead is like they've planted so many seeds in that they're not going to run out of story anytime soon. A lot of things you see, their first arc, they burn everything they've set up, and you don't know if they're going to go anywhere. But there's so many things in Copperhead I want to know so much more about.
Yeah,
that I see this rolling along well for a while.
Descender number 4, really good, solid 3 issues. So I'm looking forward to number 4.
Injection number 2, for some odd reason, I have not read that first one. I have picked it up 16 times, I'll bet, and not read it, and there's no reason for that.
You're not going to believe that I've done the same exact thing.
Jeez.
And I either haven't read it, or it was so forgettable I can't remember what it was about.
I like Declan Shalvey and Jordi Belair. I want to see what they bring from Moon Knight to this, but for some odd reason, I can't just open the darn thing.
That is strange, because did I read this? I don't think I did. It doesn't sound familiar at all. I must have missed
Let's
that one.
hope you didn't, and it's just not that unimpressive.
Yeah, really enjoying The Little Depressed Boy. That's the Cine Grace book, and it's a really cool series. I want to go back and read some of the old ones. I liked it so much.
Mantle number 2 by Ed Brisson with art by Brian Lavelle. I actually really enjoyed the first one.
What happened in the first one?
It's a quimp romp where a guy just magically gets powers to be essentially Superman, and then this enemy just shows up and blows his head off and kills him, and then his girlfriend at the end of the book magically gains that mantle as that superhero.
Don't remember.
And it's a good story, so I'm curious to see what it's doing for the next few.
Yeah.
Nameless. This was the
I jumped off this.
I jumped off of it real quick as well. Grant Morrison has not been doing it for me, and that may be an issue with me, or that may be an issue with Grant. I don't know, but he's not speaking my language at the moment.
Right, and I think that's par for the course with a lot of his stuff.
Saga 29. This cover is amazing. This book is amazing. This is the penultimate to the 6th arc. I've, as always, got 3 issues coming. This will be the top of the stack.
Yeah.
What more can I say?
Yeah.
Savior number 3, of course, being ghostwritten by your good buddy Todd McFarlane. Of course, we have absolutely no reason to say that other than Drew's inability to realize that he has anything to do with this other than pen name.
It's my conspiracy theory. I'll probably be hauled into jail for defamation of character.
The mystery of Todd McFarlane's newest character continues in issue 3 of Saviors, Image Comics' newest and hottest comic from Todd McFarlane, in all caps, by the way. Includes 22 pages of beautiful painted art by Clayton Crane. So the only person not really mentioned in that is Brian Holguin, who you say is the real creative force.
That's what I could be wrong. Gotcha. I don't know. Star of number 1, Brian Woods got an image book out, which is cool. Art by Daniel Zizigi.
You want to try that again?
Zizigi? Zizelge?
Daniel Z.
Really? That's how you pronounce it? Okay.
I'm just going to say Z.
Okay. And Dave Stewart, and he's good. Utensils down, hands up, welcome to Starve. One of the world's most famous chef, Gavin Cruikshank's been in self-imposed exiles for years. His little foodie television program has since evolved into Starve, an arena sport that pits chef against chef for the pleasure of their super rich patrons. The first issue should be pretty interesting. I don't know how long that premise will last.
Yeah, we talked about this right after Image's convention when they kind of gave a spot check of about a dozen of their titles coming in the new year. And this is an interesting premise, and Brian Wood, I trust Brian Wood enough as a writer to give this a little bit of a shot. I think I've got 2 issues of this coming, one for me and one to set back in case it catches fire.
Now, in Walking Dead 142, it's the fair. It looks like the fair is happening, and that looks like Negan walking around in the middle of the fair. Is that possible?
Huh?
Is that Negan?
Where?
In the middle of the panel there with the receding hairline.
Oh, in the vest?
Yeah.
I don't think Negan would wear a vest. But yeah, it does have a similar look to it. So we shall see.
Yeah. So yeah, they're having a fair. That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. If we've got time, do you mind if I read all the solicit?
Yeah, you go ahead. You can read it twice if you want.
A Gathering. Okay, thanks for that. Thanks, Kirkman. Appreciate all the info.
You know, I think when you get to the level that they're at, and you don't really need to spoil things. So I think it's good.
I mean, I sat with myself and thought the other day at just how awesome what Walking Dead does, and being out on time constantly. And so many books have trouble being out on time, or have to throw in little spin-off issues to keep time on this. And for almost 10 years straight, Walking Dead has just been churning things out.
Well, fun fact, before we were reading it, before the show, they had trouble getting this.
Okay, for the last several years, it's been trugging along really, really nicely.
Probably since 40, it's been right on. But I guess they had early days. They had delay issues.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, for the time that I've been reading it,
I've never had any problem.
Impressive.
Yeah, it's super impressive. Because sometimes it's 2 or 3 in a month.
Yeah,
which is also awesome.
All right,
that's it for Image.
We've hit the W's and we've passed through Image. Let's head on down to Marvel. This is, of course, Secret Wars, which I am more impressed with than I thought I would be.
It's definitely superior to Convergence.
Absolutely. There are things that I am excited about. I think this week, and definitely, it's not as negative as Convergence is in any way, shape, and form. So so far liking Secret Wars,
and I think we can beat this horse to death, or I can, but really, it was those issue ones. It was really the issue ones for the minis that was the problem, the big problem. Now, the event itself was kind of boring. The event title, the miniseries, was kind of boring. But man, those issue ones were just awful. And some of the issue twos have been good.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they had anybody left to read them.
Mm-hmm. Of course, the big one, A-Force. It's the poster A-Force was out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago. We've got Captain Marvel and the Carol Corps, #1. Got Ghost Racers, #1.
Not these titles necessarily are the ones that really...
Yeah, I'm not really interested in those. Inferno #2, no. Inhumans Attilan Rising, or Attilan, whatever. #2, I'm not reading that. Kanan the Last Padawan, looking forward to #3.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that's a really wicked looking cover on that, and really looking forward to what's going on in that book.
Marvel Zombies #1. Now, that might be cool. Didn't Kirkman get started at Marvel on that title back in the day?
I cannot remember.
I think he did a lot of Marvel Zombies. And this is Simon Spurrier, and I am actually going to check that out. I think that would be kind of cool. Let's see.
Not so much Mrs. Deadpool and the Howling Commandos.
Oh, it'll sell. Everything Deadpool sells.
Yeah, pretty much. Sorry, all these posters are freaking me out.
Yeah.
I keep looking at them and thinking they're other things.
Secret Wars 2099 #2. Secret Wars Journal #2. I read part of 2099. I haven't got through all that yet. Silk #5.
Yeah, Silk #5. Looking forward to that. It's finishing up its first arc, essentially, if not this one, then the next one.
Feels like it's been out a lot longer than that.
Yeah. Well, because you've got Silk in a lot of things, and she was in mainline Spider-Man for a while, so we've known about her longer than 5 issues. Yeah. But it looks like they're forcing Spider-Man and Silk back together again, which I'm a big fan of. I like their chemistry together and kind of their...
We've been clamoring for that.
Yeah, so hopefully they get together and they kick Black Cat in the face and she dies and we can move on from that.
Silver Surfer #12. I actually thought this ended a couple issues ago, so this was a surprise. This thing is still coming out. Guess not. Guess it didn't end. I thought it was like an oversized issue that felt very final, but guess not.
Okay. Spider-Gwen #5. I'm still buying Spider-Gwen, but I am done reading Spider-Gwen.
Are you just getting through the first arc?
I'm just going to buy them because I think it's a good flip opportunity because it'll be the first legitimate series by her, and they're putting her in enough stuff that she's going to be around for a while no matter what.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse number 2, of course, this is just part B of Spider-Gwen. Yep, sure enough, she's on the cover of that as well. This is a Battle World face-to-face tie-in. So, Norman Osborn versus Spider-Ham, British Spider-Man, and Spider-Girl.
Got Ultimate End number 2. Pretty good.
I just want to point out the fact that Unbeatable Squirrel Girl number 1 is on a 3rd print, number 2 is on a 3rd print, number 3 is on a 2nd print, and number 4 is on a 2nd print as well. This is something we touched on, I believe, last week as we talked about that there is a market for this book, and they continue to sell through as people clamor for an all-ages book to try to get some of the younger readers into comic books. So what we thought was
maybe that's
something not written. Well, I mean, it's going to multiple prints, so something's going on there.
Yeah,
as we
could just be really good.
It's not.
There's a humor there.
No.
There's a humor going on in that book
Sure.
that could resonate with people.
No.
It's possible. We've got Weird World number 1 by Jason Aaron and with art by Mike Del Mundo. Welcome to the wildest, most dangerous new corner of the Marvel Universe. Welcome to Weird World. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, a world of swords and sorcery and strange, perverted science.
Jason Aaron.
Yeah, no doubt.
Can't go wrong, usually.
Anything else in Marvel?
Tons of stuff.
Yeah, all kinds of neat stuff in Marvel for us. Let's head to the back half. Let's look at our smaller publishers. Our Oni Presses, our Dynamic Forces, our Boom Studios. Drew, let's start at the bottom and see what we can find. Ooh, I'm interested in one down here. Anne Bonny, number 4.
Now, when was Anne Bonny number 3?
It was a while ago.
Yeah, I think so.
This is, of course, the Adventures of Anne Bonny. It's a drawn all ages tale of a orphan turned pirate that finds a magical ship, and it's actually kind of nice. I like Tim Yates. I like the Blue Juice comics, so I've been following them since their first breakthrough into comics with Accelerators, and now it looks like an Anne Bonny continuing on, and of course Accelerators has a colon the next part coming here in the next month.
It's
actually just came out last week.
It's the Accelerators guys.
It's the It's the same publisher as that.
Oh, okay.
But it's one small portion of who did the Accelerators.
We have from Fantagraphics, Blubber number 1, written and art by Gilbert Hernandez, Jaime's little brother or older brother. I don't know who's the oldest. But the Hernandezes are very beloved by the Eisner community, and probably Derek over at Comics Alternative. I think he loves the Hernandez brothers too, and Fantagraphics. So
can we call them the Hernandezes?
Yes, I think you can call them the Hernandezes.
Excellent.
We've got Clarence number 1 from Boom Studios. This is written by Liz Prince and Derek Fridolfs with art by Evan Palmer and J.J. Harrison. And Clarence is a typical 4th grader who's always on the search for fun with everyone, finding adventures everywhere from the classroom to his own imagination. Life might throw a bully or a grumpy adult in his path, but Clarence puts a stop to that with kindness and treating everyone like a friend. Sounds like me. You're probably not interested.
Yeah. Remember back a couple years ago when I found this little comic in the back half of a book called Death Sentence?
Yeah.
It was where you essentially contracted an STD, gained superpowers, and died.
Yeah, good book.
Actually, yeah, I think I read almost. I think I didn't catch the last bit of that for some odd reason of that first mini. Well, we've come out with Death Sentence London from Titan Comics. Of course, written by Monty Nero. The smash hit Sex and Superpowers epic returns with a brand new artist and all new ongoing series that picks up where the best-selling graphic novel left off.
You having a stroke?
I might be.
From Black Mask Comics, we have The Disciples number 1, written by Steve Niles with art by Christopher Mitten. Dagmar, Rick, and Jules' intrepid private eyes. I might be having the same stroke.
Do you smell petties?
Yeah. Have been hired by a high-ranking senator to retrieve his teenage daughter who's run off to join a mysterious religious cult. Sweet. That sounds good. Black Mask has been putting out some stuff that has piqued my interest. Lots of it. We have a book called It Will All Hurt, number 1. This is from Alternative Comics, and this is written with art by Farrell Dalrymple. And this looks kind of edgy. It's billed as a weird, sad, silly, and sketchy fantasy adventure strip with magic and science fiction and some fighting action. So, something I want...
$8.
What?
$8.
$8?
$8.
Okay, I take it back.
moving on.
Yeah, you don't want to sample an $8 comic. That is craziness.
Yeah. What about Metallic Science or Silence by Amigo Comics by El Torres with art by
So are both
Angel.
issues coming out?
Yeah, let's see. We got 1 of 2, and did you say 2 of 2 was also out?
Looks like it. That's
Yep.
kind of weird, isn't it?
Well, we have a February solicit and a March solicit, and it looks like we've said, screw it, let's put them all out in June.
we couldn't get them out, so we'll just put it out now.
So it looks like they're both on the shelves at the exact same day. $8 gets you all of them.
Huh?
That's odd.
Not,
That is
not
odd.
good. Not
Somebody
good at all.
has screwed something up there.
That can't be planned. Yeah, there's something wrong. We got Titan #1. This is also from Alternative Comics, and this is a $4.95 comic, not quite $8. Written and art by Francois Vignault. That's not how you pronounce his last name, I'm sure. But when Monsignor, come on, guys, De Silva is sent to Homestead Station on the moon of Titan, he finds himself caught in the simmering tensions between the genetically engineered Titan workers and the Terran management. You know, Titan is like a planet destination in that other Image book that I was reading, where they're traveling across space to Titan.
Okay.
And then there's Attack on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
So Titan's, pretty hot, I guess, as far as planets go.
It's become a buzzword.
Yeah, let's use that. We can never go home. #3 is out. I wanted to read the first one, and I never could find it, so I never got a chance to read that one. I heard good things.
Cool. All right, Drew.
A lot of stuff down there.
Yeah, a lot of stuff all through this week. A really good week. But only one thing, Drew, can be your pick of the week. Your lock of the week. The comic to get of the week. We've got all new slates in DC. We've got #1s in Image. We've got lots of build-up by Kyle for no real reason. Drew, what you got?
Man. Oh, this is really difficult. There are so many #1s to choose from.
Really? Talk it out. What are you thinking here?
Well, I'm looking at, some of the DC #1s, or Batman 41, which you mentioned.
Yep.
I thought that there's definitely some interest there. There's Star of #1 over at Image, which I think has got some potential. I think there's a lot of these smaller publisher books that look interesting, and might be super low print run, but take off. They've got a really good cover looks to them. Some of them.
You're stalling, Drew. What you got? I'm just kidding.
I almost would go with Disciples, but I think it's a 4-issue mini, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with Starve and see if the Brian Wood people come out for it.
I think that's a great call. I think Starve #1 is one of the ones I was looking at as well. I'm going to go with Batman 41, just as kind of a hearken to the first appearance of the suit and the new Batman. I'm wondering how long it'll last, but I think this may be seen by people as a jumping on point, or people that maybe weren't on Snyder's run before. This may look like a place that they can pick it up and at least take a little adventure with us on it. So I'm going with Batman 41 as the one to have this week.
Yeah. That's cool.
With a special shout out to, I think, Red Hood Arsenal, I think, is going to go places.
You want it to.
I do. I want it to go places, and I think the sensibility may tame down on this, and I think it could be fun and attract new readers. I am seeing Red Hood everywhere.
I would be pleasantly surprised if that happened.
With the Arkham game coming out, there's a big Red Hood aspect in the Arkham Knight game coming out. There's Red Hood stuff being sold in all kinds of different stores now, so he's gaining more and more popularity. Yeah. So I can see something here with this. He's becoming the new Nightwing.
Well, you mentioned some printings for The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, and I thought we could take a quick glance at some of the printings coming up in June. The new printings, June and early July. We have Harrow County #1 going into its second printing over at Dark Horse.
Okay.
That'll ship on the 17th. We've got Gem and the Holograms at IDW #1 going into its third printing, so that really brought out the nostalgia buffs.
Yeah, well, and we have a movie tie-in for that as well coming out here within the next year.
Awesome. Sons of the Devil at Image, which we'll talk about in our next episode. Mm-hmm. It's going to its second printing, and will be out in July 1st.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a slew of Darth Vaders. The first and second issue of Darth Vader is going into its fourth printing.
Wow.
Their fourth printings. The third and fourth issues of Darth Vader are going into their third printings. And they were no joke when they came out. They sold a lot originally.
Yeah. And it looks like, I think the low print run of that line is number 3, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you're right, because it spiked back up for issue 4.
And that's our Afra first appearance in number 3 as well.
Your buddy,
Zdarsky.
Yeah, his Howard the Duck. The first one is on its third printing, and the second one is on its second printing. So
I'm gonna have to jump back into that read number 2 because I did not give it another chance after that. But
oh, you didn't?
I did not. But there was no real reason for that.
Yeah. The second printing of Princess Leia number 3 coming out.
Okay.
Secret Wars number 1 and 2 both going into their second printing. Secret Wars Battle World number 1 going into its second printing. Spider-Gwen 1 and 2 are going into their third printings.
Jeez.
Star Wars 1 is going into its sixth printing. That's amazing. Star Wars, it had 1 million copies.
We're going to creep up on 1.5 before it's all said and done.
Might. Star Wars number 2 is going to its fifth printing. Star Wars number 3 is going into its third printing. And Star Wars number 6 is going into its second printing. Now, Star Wars number 6 has some canon changing.
Yep, I want to buy 3 extra copies of that one.
Yeah,
and I'm
would that spoil for people if you told them what was going on in that?
Yes, it would.
We won't do that then. And then, as
it's a really cool reveal. Is the reason I say that.
We've got the first 5 issues of Unbeatable Squirrel Girl all going into multiple printings. The first 2, 1 and 2, will be going into their third, as Kyle mentioned, and then 3, 4, and 5 all going into their second printings. Good for them. We have some smaller press stuff. Sesame Street number 1 at Ape Entertainment is going to its second printing. Arcadia number 1 from Boom is going into its second printing. Optic Nerve number 1 and number 8 all are going into a new printing.
Mm-hmm.
Just a new printing.
Yeah, new printing.
Those are over at Drawn Quarterly. Now, Oni Press has Kaiju Max number 1 going into its second, and Rick and Morty number 2 going into its second printing. And good old Valiant, Divinity's doing well for them. Divinity number 1 is going to its fifth. Divinity 2 will be going into its third, and Divinity number 3 will be going to its second printing. So,
gotta be good for your boy Matt Kent.
Yeah, exactly. Some of these second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth prints, you wouldn't think they'd have any collectability, but there are some folks out there that smarter than two of us who really value the small print runs of these multiple printings because of there's usually a unique cover, and they chase those, don't they?
Mm-hmm. When there's a unique cover, you get into a situation like Rat Queens, where they're the most rare comic in the lineup of the first few Rat Queens is the second printing of issue number 1, because there was only approximately 2,000 of them, and it's a special, unique individual cover. So if you want to complete that set like I like to do, you got to hunt that beast down, and it's got quite a bit of value.
But that kind of flies in the face of, you want the first printings, you don't want the subsequent printings.
Yeah, that flies in the face of people like me who are like, first run cover A all day.
Yeah, so interesting stuff there. A lot of food for thought. These things going back to printing over and over and over again means it's got to mean the industry's healthy, man, because a lot of these sold really well when they came out, so they're still selling, which is great.
Can't beat it. Well, Drew, thank you for digging through what's coming out June 10th, was it, I believe?
Yep.
At our local comic book shops. This has been Drew and myself. We thank you so much for listening to us. You can find all of our links to all of our social medias, our Facebooks, our Twitters, and a YouTube page as well, where we've been posting our podcasts on a weekly basis at comicsfunprofit.com. Of course, if you're listening to us on iTunes, feel free to drop that 5-star review and tell people you enjoy getting your information and news from Comics for Fun and Profit. We thank you once again for listening to episode number 222. So for Drew and myself, see you.
The triple deuce.